It requires a long time to make a universe like the smooth house framework. Our discernment into the universe grows an uncommon arrangement reliably, as scientists all around the world make glorious disclosures that change what we see today. We can talk on the whole probability the most sizzling and considerably less eminent disclosures that even the greatest talented experts can't sort out. Go along with us as we investigate the profundities of room and find secrets that assist us with drawing nearer to settling unquestionably the most significant requests respected to fellow. We will look at odd exoplanets that could upset the traces of physical innovative expertise and strange boundless occasions that nobody has had the decision to figure out. Imagine that a planet became situated inside the outside segments of our close-by planet bunch that follows its celebrity in inverse diverged from exceptional planets. Comparably to the truth that this sort of find be enthralling, could it in like manner further develop uncertainty about current considerations concerning how planetary system organized? Experts have actually found a part of those odd exoplanets. For occurrence, a couple of circle their stars in especially close circles, which makes the surface incredibly hot and prepared to liquefy metals. Others are nonconformist planets that wander through the world without a star. This makes people wonder wherein they came from and how they live alive inside the merciless climate of room. Data the complexities of those odd fabulous bodies widely develops the spot of innovation. This altogether impacts both understudies' interest and valuable inconveniences. For example, the way that we could live on unique universes later on. Each new finding is the fundamental piece in putting the huge puzzle of the universe all in all. Think about what it would plan to tune down water seethe on a distant world or to find a planet with a climate like Earth's. These outcomes might need to show where conditions are great for life to begin, that can help with organizing predetermination outings to these distant spots. Grasping the incredibly great shapes and approaches to acting of these planets moreover help specialists with running on their designs of the format and improvement of the universe. This gives us ideas about the past and possible fate of Earth. Imagine that we find an exoplanet whose way isn't consistently simple, which clashes with current theories of gravity and makes us question what we expect we are natural texture science and how things move in region. Likewise, to the way that this is relatively records valuable for personnel, but it's going to moreover influence advancement and space studies. The finding of 2007 or 10, the greatest worldwide in our nearby planet establishment that hasn't been named at this component, is an enamoring contextual research practically about a method for finding and center around radiant our bodies. This remote thing that is in the scattered plate neighborhood past Neptune licenses stargazers both new tasks and potential outcomes. Cosmologists decided 2007 or 10 curiously simultaneously, as using the S. Samuel Austin Telescope at Palomar Observatory for in customary investigate. It became attested to have been tracked down through looking at PR revelation pics made by utilizing the Spacewatch task. This demonstrates how space innovation is a lot of the time agreeable and inclined toward an agent story. 2007 or 10 is the third greatest recognized Bantam planet in our nearby via Planet Association. Its size is around 1,535 kilometers, which makes it an extremely broad planet. Regardless of the way that it is moderately huge, it doesn't have a call yet since we don't really hold close its circle and haven't had the decision to kind it out to the place of meeting the overall Cosmic Alliance standards for naming articles. Its floor is oddly dull and pink, which suggests that it conveys convoluted home-grown blends alluded to as tholin. Those are made when sunlight hours hit direct natural combos like methane and alkali. Did you had at the most unsome idea that notwithstanding of its huge size, 2007 or 10 remaining parts anonymous in mild of reality that its circle has presently not completely set in stone with adequate precision to offer it a legitimate call. Its dull floor and slow turn make it one of the close by planet establishment's most diffused articles. The examination of 2007 or 10 integrates each immediate discernments and PC models that endeavor to parent its direction and kind out what its genuine homes are. To amass data, cosmologists utilize the two telescopes at the floor and ranges in region. For example, the Hubble Region Telescope. The light twists from these insights assist us with testing its progressive flip term. It requires cycle 45 hours to complete a turn flip, making it one in everything about Kuiper belt fights that turns the slowest. At the point when we had a standard mastery of our planetary association, disclosures like 2007 or 10 move close by to task our perspectives. In any case, hang tight, What we find straight away about some other quite far-off divine body may moreover completely reconceive about the incomprehensible. This preface to 2007 or 10 now not simply makes a space for a more prominent significant investigate odd divine bodies, yet it moreover proposes how we're at this point finding new things in the external close by planet association. Every piece of realities we get helps us with jumping more noteworthy profoundly into these distant universes and the universe with everything taken into account. Brilliant warm Neptunes are an intriguing social event of extrasolar planets that don't carry on like normal planets. These contraptions in region circle incredibly near their stars, a great deal closer than Mercury does to our Sun. This suggests that the surfaces of these articles can get pretty hot, over 1,700 degrees cos 392 to F. Being so near their host stars challenges what we accept we are familiar with the way that planets structure and the manner in which they live alive. Considering the truth that it is ready to ignite off ecological blow-off, that is the place where the weather conditions are genuinely torn away by the radiation and winds of the star. To give you a rendition, consider KT9b, a recognizably warm Neptune that is warm to the point that particles like water can't shape and on second thought separate into atomic hydrogen. Seeing these planets not just appraisals what we expect we are familiar with conditions, yet it additionally raises large requests concerning the combination and force of planetary systems. Anywhere on the off risk that you contrast super-warm Neptunes with explicit sorts of planets, what do you think the reasons are? Their shortage might need to have something to do with how they are outlined and the conditions that should be met to make such awful settings. Allow us to understand your thought technique in the comments. Is it secure to say that you are enthusiastic about the insider measurements of 2007 or 10? Urgently protect until you find about is 1,348 to 34. What specialists found around this exceptionally huge celebrity may be the way to figuring out how radiant Goliath structure. This adjustment from examining phenomenally warm Neptunes to examining a 1348 to 34 suggests that we can continue to explore the most extreme fascinating and greatest unbelievable matters respected to humanity. Each point develops the beyond one. Z in on the new disclosures and wonders that hold to an ascent in innovation and make us question what we expect we perceive. A 1348 to 34 is an incredibly extraordinary celebrity inside the very significant bits of the great casing. Each other examination of this star has figured out new understanding into how jumbled Wiz affiliation is. This incredible limitless body that is more than multiple times the mass of our sun-based has raised out around the open door that immense stars are for the most part made when more prominent unobtrusive stars slam into and unite with each other. All things thought about, the situating of a huge circle of fuel and buildup surrounding ICE 1348 to 34 recommends that indeed, even the best stars should further their aggregate by comfortable gathering matter from a protoplanetary plate. Such and last results make fundamental effects. It's not just a degree element. The plate around is 1348 to 34 is moving and loaded with complex natural molecules and build-up particles that interact with each other absolutely. Even in those harsh occurrences, this collaboration should make planet structure, which could suggest that scientists can fully look for in extra spots for new universes and maybe life. Stargazers can work on their models of how stars widen and exchange over the extended corridor by jumping all the more profoundly into the circle houses together a YC 1348-34. Its strong quality and the gravitational draw of its mass make it a one-of-a-kind spot to focus on how include showings in a part of the universe's most energetic regions. This notice is imperative for both portraying the existence test of stars and researching the risk of planets outlining in places that have been accepted to be excessively unfavorable beforehand. Our next trouble is rogue planets, which consolidates each the intriguing states of enormous stars like is 1348 to 34 and the secret planets that wander the universe. These astounding bodies, which float in space without a celeb to circle around, make us examine what a planet is and in which they are living. Rogue planets are both standard and scholarly. They are each and every other forest as we endured searching for records about the field. Request what could show up to a planet that isn't held establishment through the gravity of a star. We will find out with our ensuing trouble, which is dissident universes. We stream from examining critical genius structures like is 1348 to 34 to examining dangerous planets. This is really attainable of the most astonishing component practically about region science. These are heavenly issues that move through region without being pulled by utilizing any megastar. They're moreover called rogue planets or loosened floating planets. That is completely excellent from the standard idea of planets as issues that circle stars in a reasonable planetary foundation. These surprising space explorers are not held down through the gravity of any VIP, so they venture through the sky without assistance from totally every other person. They're finding conflicts with the stylish considerations regarding how planets shape, which say that the gravitational draw of a star is anticipated to accumulate and shape planetary bodies. Rogue planets are made sure to approach in one among two approaches. Potentially they're thrown out of their home planetary organizations by way of gravitational pulls, or they shape on their own personal in a dimness of stars, which can be as yet developing but in no way shape or form get on the whole with a star. Rogue planets are especially subtle, and suggests like microlensing are an extraordinary arrangement of the time used to music down them from Earth. This happens when the rogue planet quickly flashes more striking than a whiz as it passes prior to it. Those exercises are fascinating anyway, valuable potential outcomes to get to know the variables of these wandering planets. Planets that burst misguided enormously influence how we could decipher the area. They show that planetary systems are presumably reasonably astounding and changing over, and that the right events for planet course of action can happen in additional events than practically those in which planets circle stars. Similarly, as the sheer number of these planets, presumably more prominent than the famous people in our own vast gadget, centers to a gigantic secret populace that challenges our considerations concerning how ordinary and fan-out issues are inside the universe. It is possible that these flying universes are extraordinarily than stars, which raises intriguing requests concerning the risk of ways of life in these merciless spots. May ways of life at any factor exist underneath a thick of ice that is warmed by geothermal profundity on a planet that is venturing by means of the infection space? The potential results cause us to do not fail to remember a couple of new conceivable outcomes and push us to tune down higher methods of recognizing things as we keep on examining region. Focusing on dissident planets not just helps us with situating out around how planets shape and how they stay alive, yet it moreover opens up extra decisions for our journey for ways of life past Earth. As of now, we should coordinate our mindfulness towards a fascinating area of enormous assess that looks straightforwardly into how ways of life initiated. Complex, normal, artificial materials were viewed as inside the protoplanetary circles around more youthful stars. Through new assessments, those that are sometimes known as the shape blocks of ways of life are built from different carbon-based materials that are significant for ways of life on this planet. As far as we is presumably stressed to begin, protoplanetary circles are thick regions of gas and buildup that shape round recently outlined stars. They're where planetary structures start. Complex regular particles had been situated in these settings, which can be continually evolving. Subatomic construction blocks like amino acids and simple sugars are made through compound reactions expanded by me of the energetic star's power and various games inside the circle. Those particles being situated in protoplanetary plates is gigantic in light of the fact that it implies that the shape blocks for presence may be spread out across the universe inside the circles that at extended shutting met down to shape new planets. This suggests that essential circumstances for ways of life to start occur every step of the way while stars and planets are being outlined. You could accept a protoplanet AR plate as an astonishing kitchen in region in which various materials are joined as one to make a recipe. The sea mixes gas buildup and natural particles under the impact of great power, like how a mixture puncher mixes flour, sugar, and eggs to make a cake. This could incite the improvement of planets that can maintain life. This broad recipe units the stage at some point before planets even totally shape. This expects that in the occasion that ways of life start to outline on a planet its fundamental shape blocks had been plausible gotten moving every step of the way inside the presence of its large name. This finding now not simply helps us with looking into where in ways of life ought to begin, but it in like manner opens up the feasible zones to consolidate an additional regular extent of planetary settings. We not even once more need to search for planets with ways of life on them. By and by we can contemplate how life could start nearby among the superstars. The examination of complex home-grown artificial mixtures in protoplanetary plates prompts higher methodologies for searching for presence past Earth and raises entrancing issues around whether the structure blocks of presence are the equivalent all around the area. We gain some helpful information, roughly the circumstances that could permit presence to begin any spot inside the universe as we keep up with on focusing on these huge houses. As we continue with our investigate the unconventional, we need to investigate the unprecedented matters roughly Kepler 78b, a planet that obviously shouldn't exist considering common considerations as to planet's shape. This extrasolar planet inquiries our sensible brain anyway. It also gets our minds with features which are like Earth. In 8.5 hours, Kepler 78b makes a round ride around its big name, which is parcels nearer than Mercury is to our child.